Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie.
Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. For more information on how the CCIDA can assist your business, visit choosechq.com.
From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. The Hofbräu House in downtown Buffalo invites all our friends from Chautauqua County to experience craft beer, Bavarian food, and live entertainment. Check us out on our Facebook page and website for family-friendly events throughout the year. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
I'm back. Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, it's been a crazy last 3.5 weeks. My wife and I, we took off for quite a trip. We were up in Iceland and over to the Faroe Islands in Denmark. But you didn't know that one, Justin. And I'm blipping here. What's going on? Then we were over into Norway and then down into Germany. And then here we are. And I am glad to be back. We had a great trip, but it's, as they always say, it's good to be home. I think the blipping stopped, so I think I'm okay right now. I don't know, Justin, what's going on here. We have gremlins every once in a while. It gets into our wires. Anyways, right off the bat, I want to congratulate my crew, Justin Burt, Jeff Zook over in the engineering room, Randy Burt, who's on phone and other activities, Chris Burt, my director, Chuck Kelsey, our studio manager. Happy birthday, guys. We just completed 12 years about a week ago, and we just started our 13th year together. Holy cow, were you even born yet? Justin was so young he could barely get to. No, that's not true. Anyways, this is show 621, and we started our 13th season, and I'm just so happy that we've been fortunate to stick together and work together. Also, I want to do a shout out to my underwriters that you see in the very beginning, and in no particular order. The Westfield Memorial Hospital, WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown is one of my underwriters. Meter's Restaurant, my favorite place to have pie and various other meals. The Hofbräu House up in Buffalo, okay? They're doing lots of fun things up there. The Chautauqua IDA, they've been with me a long time. And of course, the Resource Center, TRC. And we're gonna be featuring and highlighting one of their programs here in just a little while, once I get done talking. So anyways, season 13, lots of things happening, and we're already booked into October. I mean, it's amazing to me that the show has been this popular. People write to me quite often and have suggestions and so on. So I'm glad that you're with us today, and always remember that you can see us on YouTube, on Chautauqua Sunrise. We have our own channel. You can look us up on Facebook, Chautauqua Sunrise as well. And guess what? We're on the Collaborative Children's Solution TV. We're on the radio for WRFA 107.9, as I mentioned, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Pop that up, Jeff. And watch this, it's like magic. He pops these things up all the time. So I want to welcome all the listeners Tuesdays. And then I want to say there it is. You thought I was making it up, didn't you? We really do have these things. So anyways, Anthony Merchant's going to be on here soon in August. He's coming back. We're going to be talking about a big event. And then we have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You're going to be really excited to know who it is that day. Anthony and I put our heads together, and we have a special joint guest coming on. All right. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, throughout Europe, my cousins and friends over in Holland, Belgium, across the United States, down into Phoenix, wherever you are, thank you for watching. We got a really interesting show in store for you that I'm looking forward to talk to you about. Remember, we do stream live, so wherever you are, Natalia in the Ukraine, good morning. Kenya Cochran and James in Kenya. They watch the show sometimes. So anyways, lots of fun things. Throughout the show, remember that you can call in if you have a question or comment for my guest or something you want to share. Here comes the phone number, 716. See how fast that came up? Jeff's on his A game, I see. 753-5225. 716-753-5225. Now, for those of you who are watching this later on, you cannot call me because I won't be here. But you can email us, all right? And at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com and leave me a message. Whether you have an event, send me a poster at that email, and we will try our best to get it on. But I always tell people, think ahead. Don't send it to me the day before, because a lot of times the event is over or because of the timing. So just think about that a little bit. All right, what else we got going on here? The weather is the main thing for today. Depends on where you're standing, I guess. Between dealing with smoke, my throat's a little scratchy, and I think it has something to do with that. Also, I talk a lot. But the weather's supposed to be really nasty after about 1 o'clock throughout the county. So please, take heed. Get all those chairs and things out on your back porches or out on the lawn and secure them. Make sure you got things that are small that the kids fly around. Get them secure for the few hours here, because they are talking about some really, really high winds. And also, Justin, I don't know if you guys saw this, but like Lake Erie, they're saying do not go swimming. The currents are really strong, and they're telling people to stay out of the water. So be advised, all right? I don't really have a whole lot to talk about right now, because I wanted to spend some time with a gentleman that I've known for a while now. I want to welcome to the show again Norman Carlson, who's the Chautauqua County historian. How's that for a title? Norm, good morning. How are you?
Well, good morning, Doc, and good morning to the people of the area and around the world.
Yeah, exactly. You are talking around the world. And Norm, I know last year you had I think it was last year, or was it the year before, a history expo, right?
That's correct.
And this year you got a brand new one, is bigger and better.
That's right.
So tell us all about the History Expo 2026, because I know you have a special theme.
Well, this is America 250, the semi-quincentennial of the American Revolution, and this year in particular is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And so we're putting on a special effort this year with the support of the New York State America 250 Commission and a lot of help from the Chautauqua County government and good cooperation from the Fenton Historical Society and my outstanding committee that is putting this together. And the History Expo is the time where all of the history people, local history people in Chautauqua County come together and are ready to talk to people and show the people what they do and what they're about and how they can help you and encourage your interest and knowledge of local history.
How old is Chautauqua County?
Well, Chautauqua County was created by a law of 1808, which is on my website, but it came into effect in February of 1811.
As you know, many people know, I'm the historian for Ripley, and Ripley goes back to 1816, so we weren't too far behind. I think we're the seventh town to be formed in Chautauqua County. So Chautauqua County's pretty old. Yeah.
Well, it's getting there.
Well, if you think of 1776 and you think of 1808, that's not that big of a leap. So what can people expect at the expo, and where is it, and when is it?
It's August the 2nd from 10 to 4, and it's right here in this building, 2 Academy Street, Mayville, that most people think of as the old Mayville School, officially now the Chautauqua Town Municipal Building, and it'll be the main entrance, and it'll be all decorated, and it'll be easy to see where you come in, and it's all level.
So if somebody were to walk in, how much does it cost?
Free parking, free admission.
Free. I like that. Do you have vendors coming in to sell books or authors or anything like that?
Well, technically, no. We do have authors, but we're not selling things there.
Okay.
Everything. The primary emphasis, 2 main groups of exhibitors. One is the local historians. New York State is the only state that has official government-appointed historians. I'm the government-appointed county historian, but every town, village, and city should have an appointed historian. And if your town or city doesn't, you should speak up and ask that one be appointed. And they will be there telling people what their duties are and what their functions are, which are mainly to help you with your research and record and propagate the history of that particular jurisdiction or municipality. Another big group of participants, exhibitors, are the local historical societies. Now, these are a completely different thing. They are independent, nonprofit organizations, and they will be there to tell you they do collect items, they do research, they do operate museums, they do put up exhibits, and sometimes have traveling exhibits or appear in a parade or something, and some are very active. We will also have genealogical societies, the Chautauqua County Genealogical Society, the Western New York Genealogical Society, and 1 or 2 neighboring areas will have their genealogical societies there. Lineage societies, the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Sons of the American Revolution, the Colonial Dames, the Daughters of the War of 1812.
Okay.
And then we do have some private organizations or individuals, authors selling books or doing private research, or for example, the Bemis Point Stowe Ferry.
There you go.
Is going to be there.
We've had them on the show. True or false, I find as a historian in Ripley, I get questions every single week from somebody that doesn't live in Ripley that wants to know about Ripley heritage. They're from Alberta, Canada. They could be in Colorado, California, and they're asking me about people that lived like in the 1850s. I got work every week. I have work.
Well, that's really the meat and potatoes of my job.
Yeah.
I get, you could just as well say every day, at least one question, sometimes even 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah.
And it's my responsibility to know the sources, know how to access them, not just the resources there at the courthouse,
Right.
although primarily them, but I try to be aware of the historical documents and resources and and websites and also anything that people might know or that might help them in doing their research. And I'm talking about, of course, genealogical research on the family. The second biggest one is house research or property research.
Right.
Sometimes it's an organization that wants to know how to go about either preserving or producing its history. So I also am charged with working with schools and with the public in general.
Right. I work with the veterans group very often about people that had served in various branches of the service, and some interesting stories there, and it goes on and on, doesn't it? And it's very satisfying when you can find something and send it to them, and they go, "Wow, thanks so much." And we don't do a lot of the legwork, but we point them in the right direction, right?
That's exactly it. That's what our responsibility as official historians is. And I've been around local history a long time. So I feel that I should do a very good job of that. A lot of historians give up to half a dozen tips and references. And I like to do that and then throw in another half a dozen that are maybe long shots.
Right. My wife says, "What are you doing?" "We'll be watching TV." "Oh, nothing." I'm out on New York State historic newspapers looking up something, because it's the hunt. It's like, once you get there, it's very satisfying, and then it's over. Then it's, what's the next adventure, so it's fun.
That's right. You never know what's going to come up on any particular day, and you learn new things. To me, well, all my life, curiosity has driven me, and here I am, in a later age group, and I'm still learning things. Now, on the one hand, that's exciting, and that's what makes life rich and rewarding. But on the other hand, I think, well, I didn't know that, and I should have when so-and-so asked that question last year, and that always bothers me.
And what's nice, too, is with the network of historians in Chautauqua County, we can contact each other. Like if I know something, I need something from Westfield, who's just down the road. I had a contact from Northeast Pennsylvania the other day asking me a question. So everybody is willing to share information, and that's what's really nice about the network, right?
And there are organizations, there's a regional organization, government-appointed historians of Western New York, and there's a state organization, and there's a state historian.
Well, Norm Carlson, I want to thank you for coming by today. I know that you've got a busy schedule this weekend. So how about one more time, tell us when the expo is, where it's going to be, and all that good stuff.
It's August 2nd, 10 to 4 at the old Mayville School, the Chautauqua Town Municipal Building, 2 Academy Street, free admission and free parking. And we'll even have a horse-drawn carriage to take you back and forth if we have overflow parking.
All right. Norm, congratulations on another expo coming up, and keep up the good work, and thanks for coming by. Send me a poster or something.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, we're going to take a little breather here, and if you're interested in your family history or your town's history or whatever, contact your local town. Most likely you have a town historian. All right, we're going to take a little breather. This is for you. Stand by. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. I know, we're going to be right back.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money going to come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
That's a new one, Feed the Pig. I think basically that says, do financial planning and teach your kids the same thing, and then you're not stuck later on with all kinds of debt and stuff like that. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that presentation by Norm Carlson. We could have probably talked all day about history here in Chautauqua County, but now we're going to change directions. I want to welcome to the show Cynthia Neu. She's the supervisor of personalized recovery-oriented services. Did I get that right?
You did.
From the Resource Center, one of my favorite organizations here in Chautauqua County. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So you got to watch how this all works, so it's pretty simple. So the Resource Center, TRC, has been one of my underwriters for many years now, and I'm very pleased to be able to bring different programs, because TRC has just, I don't even know how many different programs you have. There's just all kinds. And so Steve Waterston and I have been slowly picking certain ones out, And we're going to continue to do that over for however long we continue, at least for season 13 anyways. So I got to be honest with you, Cynthia, I've never heard of your program before, and we're going to get into the details here shortly. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm originally from Steuben County here in New York State. Once I graduated from high school there, I went to Bowling Green State University in Ohio, got my undergrad in art therapy, came directly to the Resource Center after that, so I've been here since 1992 with the Resource Center in various capacities, but mostly working with individuals with cognitive disabilities as well as mental health disabilities.
And you said you started out as an art therapist?
Art therapy.
What does an art therapist do?
So it's a little bit more than just painting. I did have my specialty in acrylic and oil painting. However, with art therapy, you basically use it as another coping mechanism. So individuals can take emotions, learn different ways to speak their pain, speak their story through a different mode of therapeutic reaction.
Absolutely. Nowadays, folks with disabilities are using adaptive technologies, talking machines, you name it. And art therapy in the earlier years was sort of that adaptive technology, wasn't it? So
Absolutely.
they can express themselves.
Right.
So
The creative arts in general.
Very creative, and and even though they may not be able to say those things, they can still show us. So that's cool. So with the Resource Center, you are working with a specific group of people, right?
I am.
So who is that specific group?
Right. So even though it is a specific group of clientele, it's very eclectic. So we have individuals from ages 18 years of age or older with a serious and persistent mental health diagnosis. But we do have dually diagnosed with both intellectual and developmental disability as well as substance use and addiction.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so mental health diagnosis, is that what you call it? All right. I'm very careful in the terms I use because people use these too loosely sometimes. You are an MSW. You are a master's level social worker. And as I told you when you walked through the door, very impressive because that's not a small thing. To me, that's like, the A+ credentials. So what kind of diagnosis are we talking about?
So we range from generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, also individuals with schizophrenia. So we have the gamut of diagnoses.
Okay. People sometimes never see who these people are.
Right.
That's a problem. And that's why you're on this show.
Absolutely.
Okay? We're going to shine a light on all this because sometimes when we're in the supermarket or we're walking or out on our porches and somebody is talking to themselves quite loudly or they're doing some unusual physical movements, something's going on and people pick on them, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit, just touch on it. When you talk about anxiety disorder, what's that person look like? What's going on with them?
So it's very unique to each individual. So in our personalized recovery-oriented services, we really look at that personalized component. Everybody reacts to a diagnosis or a circumstance in a different manner. It's very unique to them, and so in many cases, it can have anger rather than anxiety. It can have stomach and physical ailments, headaches,
So they're internalizing
sweating,
it instead
very
of
much internalizing it. So it's much, the mind-body connection is really there. So when you're looking at mental health, you're looking at that combination. So we want to make sure we're looking at that whole person and looking at them holistically.
Yeah, holistically, and I know that term's been around for a while, but I remember when they started talking about things, looking at the whole person from education, medicine, and so forth, and case management, and bringing the team together, right? All those terms.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That wasn't always the case.
No,
You're
it wasn't.
cuckoo, and you're going to an institution. You have mental retardation, you're going to Willowbrook, you are whatever, and they never really did a team approach, and then all of a sudden they realized, there's some root causes here that has nothing to do with what you think is going on.
Absolutely.
So, all right, so let's just talk about anxiety disorder for a minute. Are these people working?
Some.
Okay.
In many cases, no, but we do have a variety of individuals within the county, within the states, everywhere, that have experienced something throughout their lifetimes. So we all have different ways of managing what we have gone through. And so we just want to try to find the best way for individuals to manage it successfully. So if there are some barriers from that diagnosis, and they're not able to work, or they're not able to go to school, or they're having difficulty with relationships, what can we do to find a way to help individuals develop those skills or reacquire those skills so they could be successful in the community?
So just calm down, knock it off, and pull up yourself by your bootstraps doesn't work very well, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So what do you do for these folks? You said you would seek all these different solutions. So, like, for instance, I mean, you could make up the person or role, give me an example.
So let's give an example of an individual who may be 20 years of age, recently out of school, away from their peer group, now not quite sure what to do with their life. And they're having some barriers and struggles with anxiety where when they're out in the community, any type of loud, significant noises is a hindrance, or too many people is overstimulation. So we may work with an individual within their home, within the community, within our program setting, to help them develop skills on how to manage, which might be deep breathing, or being able to take an opportunity to decompress, maybe have the noise canceling headphones, or some type of sensory redirect, so that maybe they have beads that they can play with on their wrist, some type of bracelet, maybe their keychain, where in a normal environment it's not as obvious, and so those individuals can utilize those tools to help reduce the anxiety so they could be more successful and interact into the community, whether it be going shopping at our local stores or actually participating in a recreational event and having relationships.
So if I understand what you're saying, sometimes, and I think I've seen this over the years with older students, may have something on their wrist, a rubber band or something.
Absolutely.
And they could be sitting there talking to you, and meanwhile they're doing something with that bead, right? And they're, I don't even know, channeling their anxiety through that.
Yes.
Does it work?
For some, absolutely. So sometimes you have to try a variety of different tools, and that's what our program is really for, is having options, looking at what tools are available, trying them out in a safe environment, and then going out into that community that is real life scenarios and practicing them so individuals can be successful.
Medication?
Absolutely, we do have that. Medication's not everything, so we really want to make sure that we have the combination. If the individual chooses to have medication support, we have that on top of skill development to be successful.
So you pair the two sometimes. All
Most-
right.
yep,
So, Resource Center, and now you're saying medication. So where does the medication come from? How's that work?
All right. So our personalized recovery-oriented services, our PROS programs, we actually have a comprehensive license. So that means we have clinic attached to it. So we do have the option, we have a menu of services individuals can choose from while they're at our services. So it could be community rehabilitation support with wellness self-management. It can be intensive goal acquisition, relapse prevention, employment and education, and then clinic management in regards to medication support. So depending on what the individual needs, we can take items from that menu and help them come up with the best scenario possible for their care.
In education, we used to call it individual education plans.
Yes.
So yeah, right?
Yep,
So
and we
it-
have individualized recovery
There you
plans.
go.
Absolutely.
All right. So, how does somebody even get into your program? Make up a scenario. I don't care.
Absolutely. So say an individual is recently graduating from high school and they need some support. We can actually make connections through our referral process for intake, where an individual can come in, they can try out the program, they can go through the intake and assessment process. But the good thing is that you don't have to make that decision right away. You can come in, we have a couple months. Sometimes people do need it more quickly, but we have up to a couple months, if not longer, for an individual to try the service out, be able to come into the environment, for us to go out to them, see if it really fits their needs. But individuals can be referred to we have a Jamestown and Dunkirk location,
Right.
so they can call our front desk, and we'll give a number here in a minute in regards to what they can do to reach out and schedule an appointment.
All right. You said referral. Who's going to refer them?
So anybody can make a referral. It could be a family member, it could be a neighbor, it could be a teacher, it could be a current counselor someplace else at a different location, it could be your primary care doctor.
Okay.
Once that happens, we come in, we have what's called a licensed practitioner of the healing arts, which could be a licensed social worker, a licensed mental health clinician. It could be any licensed individual that can make the referral and say, these services would fit them. It would definitely help them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Anybody.
let's get the information how to make a referral. So there's
Absolutely.
a phone number or email?
Yep.
What do we do?
So we go by the phone number. So in Jamestown, you'd call our 716-661-1590 number. In Dunkirk, it would be 716-366-7660.
All right, hang on. So 716 for Jamestown. So it's 716-661-1590.
90.
Is there extension?
Nope, you just go to the front line. Our patient access representatives will, get your information, demographic, go through a...
I'm not going to tell you anything about me.
Yeah. Well, we can give you some information about the program, and
I'm
if
not
you're very
crazy. I just want to
interested
know more
in
about
it,
the
yeah.
people get, I would think,
Yeah.
kind of skeptical about talking on the phone.
Sometimes, but in most cases, they're really ready for help when they contact us. And so they're really willing to give us that minimal demographic information. Yes.
So who's on the other end at TRC when answers that phone? Is it a secretary or is it a therapist?
It's our patient access representative. If there is a higher level of need when an individual calls, they do reach out to one of us licensed providers to give support in doing assessment for crisis needs. So if that is something that we are identifying when an individual calls, we can go ahead and make those assessments.
Dunkirk number is 716-366-7660.
Absolutely.
All right. So, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm having an anxiety attack. Do I make the phone call then?
So if you do need that and you do call our number, we do have a 24/7 response. So it isn't a real person, but it is a message stating to contact either the 988 number, the crisis mobile line, or your local emergency
So it gives
support
them
team.
information to say, call 988.
Yeah,
We use
absolutely.
it, we talk about that number here like
Absolutely.
all the time. 988 people, all right? And that's a free toll call, and they will zero in on where you live, and they will get you emergency help if it's an emergency. right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. This is interesting. How long has PROS been around?
So PROS in New York State was about 2009. Here at the Resource Center, as we started looking at it about 2010. So we've been open with our license for about 2011. So we've been around for quite a while now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Each time I ask you to give me an example, you use an example of somebody leaving high school.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a little theory about what's going on in the world, and I call them angry young men. We on the same page?
I've seen some barriers
But I mean,
like
if you
that,
look
yeah.
at the people that are getting themselves into major trouble in the world, they're people. I'm not making making anything specific here. I'm making a generalization from my point of view. I see a lot of people that are having major issues in this realm between 20 and 30 years old. Okay? Is that your age group that you're looking at, or is it all over the place?
So we are seeing a new trend of transition age youth, which has the younger male population as well. But we are seeing a trend in that transition. We do have in our bucket basically individuals from the age of 30 to 50. But we are seeing an increase in transition age youth. So
Okay, so what you're saying is you left home, you left school, you're all done, and now you're on your own, and you're floundering, and you're having some issues. All right, I know you can only say so much, but how many people are we talking here that you deal with on a regular basis in Chautauqua County? People like to know these things in general.
So currently our census in our Jamestown location, we're about 61 to 65 individuals within program. At our Dunkirk location, we're averaging about 30 to 40
So about 100
individuals.
people.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
yeah.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you're there,
Yep.
you know? All right, so we just talked about anxiety disorder. That was so far.
Yes.
All right, so I kind of get that one. And I know when I talk to some individuals, I talk to them about free-floating anxiety. And they go, what are you talking about? I said, do you ever, wake up in the middle of the night? Yeah, but you don't know why? You're on the edge during the day. It's just, but we need to talk and find out what those things are. Do you do counseling?
We do. So we do both individual and class support. So we do that both in the community and on program site. We also do it via telehealth. So we really look at what best suits that individual and their needs. So it's very unique, so thank goodness for technology these days. I think that we definitely saw a transition during COVID, that showed the opportunities that telehealth can provide, even in a more intensive program such as our PROS programs, our personalized recovery-oriented services. So we do have the technology now to have individuals Zoom in to class settings, which if an individual is struggling with getting into program or developing the skills to come into the building, that we can make those adjustments.
You said class a couple times. How many, you have classes?
We do.
Tell me about those.
So we go by a semester, so about every 3 months we do a needs assessment of our current demographic. We develop classes that best suit those needs. So we are open Monday through Friday, 9 until 3 at both of our locations. Classes generally go throughout those time spans, anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour class. So depending on what the individual is able to tolerate and be able to sit for, they have the option to choose that time frame that best suits them, as well as the topic. So we might have anger management. We may have anxiety classes on how to prevent anxiety. We may have employment and education classes to learn those interpersonal skills so individuals can help gain and maintain employment.
Why do I keep getting fired?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because
absolutely.
you're yelling at everybody all the time.
Yep. So we may have communication and relationship classes.
So how big are these classes?
Anywhere between 8 and 12 individuals.
It's pretty small. Boy, what is reluctance of people to go to class with other people?
Yeah, so it's definitely a big mix in regards to preference. So we do have probably about 80%, surprisingly, that do feel comfortable coming in on site to participate in classes. And then we have about 20% of our demographics that prefer to do community, more individualized services, and sometimes services in their home. And sometimes that's dependent on whether they are employed or if they're currently going to school or if they have child care barriers.
I don't think the general population realizes how debilitating anxiety can be for somebody. To get up every morning, whatever, and trying to get dressed, get ready, and go out the door and go face the world. Again, there was the old mentality is, suck it up, buttercup, and that's just not the way it is. And we got to be kind to people, and really get into understanding where they're coming from. And so tough question. Success rate, I mean, and it's an unfair question because you never know because people relapse. But I mean, how are you feeling about the program?
I'm very biased.
Of course you are.
I love the format of our program because we get to see progress in real time or ongoing barriers in real time. So individuals are really trying out what they're learning. And of course, we do have some individuals that struggle, that need a little bit more encouragement and to be empowered to try to work their recovery. However, we have the ability to practice skills in that safe environment in individualized sessions and class sessions, and then be able to try them in the community. So we do a lot of debriefs to see, how do you think that went? What could you possibly have done different? What would you like to do different? And try to repeat that over and over again.
And there's probably some self-awareness, taking realization, saying, "Ooh, I did it. You were right. I shouldn't have done that." Or I got upset when I shouldn't have, or it was a minor deal, or whatever. Interesting. Okay. What's the interaction in class with the other students, if you will?
All right. So the benefits of PROS is that we do have the peer interactions. So we have learned, and peer support is an evidence-based practice where we know that individuals with that lived life expertise are there to support each other. So we do have staff that facilitate, they give a topic. They do have the education behind it for more information. However, it's basically the group and individuals within it that help really make that class successful with the interaction. Sometimes it is difficult. Sometimes individuals are a little sleepy, or they're not as invested at that time. But luckily, with that peer support, we're able to pull individuals in and be able to get a little bit more motivated.
Stigma. Don't you tell anybody I'm coming here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming everything is very confidential?
Yes, it is confidential. And we have that conversation at our pre-admission. So when individuals are coming in, we talk about what their responsibilities, what their rights are, and we emphasize that throughout their care. So individuals do know that when you are seeing somebody out in the community, you try to make sure that you're keeping things private that happened within program. Yeah.
Okay. You said something about going out in the community with the individuals. Is that like on the work site, school, college, what?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything. So we do have an employment and education specialist at both of our locations in Jamestown and Dunkirk. We have certified psychiatric rehabilitation specialists at our locations. We have licensed social workers. So we have that eclectic mix. We have some individuals that are certified with their peer certification. So those individuals take those skills and take them out in the community with individuals. So it may be in the workplace, it may be at school. We have a lot of individuals that work with local colleges to help them get into colleges. We have a couple starting actually just in the next couple months, which is exciting news.
Yeah.
But we have the ability for our employment specialists to go into the job place, be able to help the individual maintain their employment if they already have it, to be able to work that through and have those collaborative discussions with their employers if they've disclosed that they have that need. So we have that ability. We have individuals that we do take out into the community for events. We do have a few pictures that we had sent in, with this, that we have the ability to show that we involve individuals in the community. We go to local conferences. We go to, events that help individuals learn how to network and identify that they're not alone.
We have some pictures.
We
do.
do.
Jeff, if you want to pop them up, and I'll let you narrate them. So what's going on here?
So this is one of our classes. We have smart boards within or smart TVs within most of our classrooms where individuals are able to interact a little bit more with technology, especially this day. We have a Dungeons and Dragons class. Right now they're playing Jeopardy. So we really utilize technology to help individuals connect where they're at for their recovery.
All right. In this particular group, I see mostly males. And is there one female maybe?
We do have one female in this class, yeah. It does fluctuate month to month on what our demographics is, but usually we have about a 50-50 ratio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this just happened to be that picture.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all over Chautauqua County, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter where you're from. Okay, what's this?
This is our Building Community Through Service class. So individuals actually connected and collected food for the local Fredonia Food Pantry, and they took it over and provided that donation.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our Jamestown location, and we have individuals that do get recognized for their progress that they have made in their recovery, and we support them highly. So that's what
The
this one's about.
individual with the glasses, he's holding something up. What is that?
That is an award. So he had gotten one of our Ability Awareness Awards last year for making progress in his recovery.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, that must be very uplifting when they can see progress and have something that they can go home and say, this goes on the wall. Or,
yes, absolutely.
They can measure their success.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is that Building Community Through Resources again. So they actually went to Point Gratchett and they helped collect rocks, they helped garden. So yeah, getting back in there, making sure everything's set up for the summer.
So this looks like a younger group?
We have a mix. Yeah, we do have a mix.
So you encourage them to get out and do things for their community then?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
we want to make sure individuals are as involved as possible.
How do they get there?
So we do have our one vehicle at both of our locations. We do have available our fleet if we need to ask for support and get some borrowing of vehicles to get them to where they need to go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, anything else? Oh, some more.
So this was actually following one of our conferences. This is the original Woodstock in Bethel, New York.
Woodstock, let me think about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't allowed to
No.
go, but I was old enough, sort of.
So we were we're 8 miles away from Bethel, New York at our conference that we've been going to the last few years every September. So we just took a little trip over there so they could see where the original Woodstock was.
Wow. So what was the conference about?
So it used to be the New York Association for Psychiatric Rehabilitation Services, NIAPRS for short. A couple years ago, they just launched called the Alliance for Rights and Recovery.
Mm-hmm.
This is a grassroots organization that has individuals from across New York State that gather. Everybody that is a staff, an employee at that alliance actually has live life expertise. So it's really like coming home for individuals in a welcoming environment where individuals can feel where they have a network. They're not alone. They can learn how to do other connections.
So
Yeah.
the individuals in that picture were clients?
It was a mix of both clientele and staff. Yeah.
You can't tell, can you?
You can't because it's an invisible
How cool is that?
disorder. Absolutely.
All right.
This again is at Bethel. So everybody was gathering and just relaxing a little bit before we headed back into
So
Chautauqua.
again, all ages and
All
and
ages,
gender?
all
So
mixes,
cool.
and yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So
Oh,
this
there
is
you are.
Yeah. So this is Patricia Deegan. So when we're at these conferences, we do bring in individuals who pioneered advocacy and empowerment for individuals with mental health disorders.
All right, so which one's
Yeah.
Patricia?
Patricia is the one over here to the left of me, which has the pink sweatshirt on and the jeans.
It says something.
So, nope, not the Reebok. All the way over to the other side here, the second one in with the pink sweatshirt.
Oh, there are two pink.
There is, I'm sorry.
With the blue
Absolutely.
blue blouse and the pink top. Okay,
Yep,
gotcha.
yep. So that's Patricia Deegan.
And what was her?
She is a doctor, actually. She had gone to, she was actually put into a state institution for schizophrenia. And when she was there, she was basically told she'd never amount to anything, never be able to do anything, never be able to leave that institution. And she got a little fire in her belly to say, you know what, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And so she did. And now she is one of the leaders in the mental health movement. So.
And with programs like yours, I'm sure a lot of people are getting that fire.
Absolutely. And when we go to these events, it helps build it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we? Oh, there's another one.
So while we're at these events, we do have the ability to try on some different cultural garb and be able to participate in fashion shows and events in regards to culture. And so these are some individuals that dug deep and got brave and decided that they were going to be part of the fashion show.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Okay. So it looks like a lot of fun what you're doing too.
We try to make it fun. We
Okay.
try to make sure that people feel a sense of togetherness.
Okay,
Absolutely.
we must be coming to the end. I'm
Yeah, we
guessing.
have almost, yeah.
The end.
The end.
Okay,
Awesome.
thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, so in the world of mental health,
Yes.
there's you listed a number of diagnoses.
Mhm.
Depression is a tough one.
It is.
Okay, it can hit anybody anytime for whatever reason, and who knows all the reasons. How do you deal with depression?
Again, very unique to each individual. We really want to see how that diagnosis is impacting that individual. You know, are they able to leave the home? Are they able to get out of bed? With the grief and losses or suicidal ideation connected with that, what is happening at that moment? What has happened? What can we do to try to move an individual past that? So we really want to look at those pieces before we really put together a menu of service to help support that need.
There's a huge trust factor here, isn't there?
There is.
Have you found that people have tried other programs and here they are now? Yeah.
Yeah, we have, as I mentioned, individuals from 18 years of age to older. So some individuals have been in the mental health system for quite some time. Some have taken some pretty significant levels of medications that have impacted them as well. And so now we have individuals that are trying something that is outside sometimes of the scope of care that they're used to. Where we're actually asking the individual, what would you like? So one of the unique things about our program is that we don't really specifically look just at the diagnosis. We look at what barriers came to you from this diagnosis, and if you're able to overcome those barriers or find ways to manage them, who could you be and what could you do?
List
So,
some barriers. What do you mean
So
by
s-
barriers?
some barriers that some individuals may have is difficulty getting along with others, difficulty managing finances, having barriers in regards to leaving the home or having access to transportation and care, access to other resources such as where do I get my food and my meal for the day.
If I could
of
stop you
gas,
right
absolutely.
now, all those issues you just brought up, I have sat in a number of think tanks in Chautauqua County. Guess what? All those things you talked about, except you didn't mention childcare.
Not yet.
But those are like the top 5 issues in Chautauqua County. And I don't know if you know Jeff Witten from Rural Minds. Have you met Jeff
I
yet?
have not.
Okay, he's got a really cool program. And Carrie Rayner, right? Carrie's been on the show with the suicide prevention. All right. Suicide's a big deal here in Chautauqua County.
It is.
Okay? And that's why I'm zeroing in a little bit. Remember the number 988. Do you see this as a growing issue of depression here in Chautauqua County?
Yes, everywhere, absolutely. We've gone through a lot of changes over the years, and I will be honest, we saw a definite shift since COVID. COVID did make quite a bit of a difference in people's lives.
Isolated a lot of people.
And many people had just recently came out of their homes a little bit more, had a little bit more access, and then COVID happened and people either were afraid or wasn't able to leave. And so it is very much a reacclimation into society and trying to figure out how do I now manage what I have put into a box for so long throughout COVID. So we are still seeing some impact from COVID where individuals are showing an increase in depression, still fearful for coming into community settings. So we have the anxiety on top of that. Individuals who just really don't know what services are going to be best for them. So we are seeing that, and with that, increased suicidality and ideation, absolutely.
Okay.
So.
All right. What I've been finding when talking with Jeff, talking to Carrie, another project that we just recently talked about was the Owen Miller Scholarship in Ripley, where a young person was involved with suicide years ago. Youth now,
Yeah.
veterans, the agricultural world, people in everyday life. This is big.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, and that's my mission, is to put a spotlight on this issue because it's tucked away. You see somebody in the obituaries and, they passed away suddenly, or there's nothing there. There's stories behind some of those people, and I think there's some resolution. There's some help out there, like you folks.
Yeah.
How much does this cost? How do you get pays for all this?
So our program actually is mostly Medicaid and Medicaid managed care.
Okay.
We do have sliding fee scales. We do have the ability to work through and come up with different payment plans. So it all depends on what the individual needs, but we always try to make sure that there's no gap in care. If there's something that we need to do, we try to find the ability to help that individual or connect them to resources that can best help them.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm 20 years old. I'm just got out of high school, and I'm having a tough time. Because of that, as an MSW, you can give them a diagnosis and make them eligible for Medicaid or Medicare. I always
Absolutely.
Get those mixed up.
So within our program, we do have some case management. We have care management. Within our department, we have health homes, right? We have the social care network with the 1115 waiver. We have our program, and we have our outpatient clinic. So we have a variety of resources available to help that individual make connections in the community to help get the coverage that they may need.
Okay. I left the next diagnoses for last because
Okay.
I think they're the most involved, the bipolar and the schizophrenia. Obviously misunderstood and difficult to deal with, I'm guessing, only from my own experience working with youth. But are these tough? Are they tougher than the others or just different? I mean, I don't know.
I think like any individual, we have to approach that in a different manner. So with these diagnoses do come some occasional challenges, but we do have the ability to find the right methodology to help that individual be successful, whether it be with medications and skill development, but classes may not be for everybody. And so that's the unique piece with this as well, where we can adapt the treatment to the individual, be able to do more individual services, some skill development that helps with redirection. So if an individual is hearing some voices or having some delusions or hallucinations, what do we do to redirect from that so the person can focus in on the task that's at hand?
Again, stigma. So these people have been laughed at, they're called names, and they're struggling. And they can't control this sometimes. You know, if someone is delusional or they're hearing voices or seeing things that aren't there, they're not creating that. That's really happening for them, right? So a lot of times people say, well, I'm not crazy, I'm not going over there, I'm not going to talk to a shrink, What do you do?
It's their choice. We try to make recommendations and provide options, but we do want to support individuals when they are making their choices that they feel is best for them. But we do try to give encouragement to try some of the new technology and methodology that we are trying to provide as well.
No, I know you mentioned clinics, and I know you have a pharmacy. Do you have a psychiatrist on board?
We do. We do have a psychiatrist. Dr. Abbasi's group is part of our psychiatric providers. He does do telehealth with our programs.
You're one-stop shop.
We are a one-stop shop. We provide
everything.
everything.
And that's the thing that still amazes me to this day is the Resource Center's been around as long as I've been in Chautauqua County, well over 50 years, and some of these programs still are sort of like tucked away. So we're doing a good job so far, aren't we? Here?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then you got somebody, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, whatever, and then they have a tendency to go towards substance abuse because they got to silence the voices or they got to calm down. Oh, that's a whole nother layer. So talk about that a little bit. We've only got a couple minutes, but
absolutely. So we were one of the first PROS programs to actually do medication-assisted treatment through Suboxone. So it was wonderful. Suboxone for opiate use disorder. So it is a film that you could actually put underneath your tongue that helps control the cravings and manage that need. So we were one of the first ones to do that. So we do medication-assisted treatment through our program if it is necessary for harm reduction. We do have integrated dual diagnosis treatment through class and individual services for relapse prevention, as well as the ability to make connections within the community if it goes above and beyond our scope of care.
So we're talking about residential care or
residential, inpatient,
long-term programming,
absolutely,
things like
or other outpatient chemical dependency programs, absolutely.
And that's not forever. They could come back into program, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
It is.
You know, we might have to come back at this again sometime. Right. Do you ever have anybody that has success and would come on the show and talk about it? Think about it. You don't have to do it right now.
I absolutely think that we have some individuals that would be more than willing to share their testimony and their story. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So my guest today, folks, has been Cynthia Neu, and she is the program. Let me get this right. You're the boss. You're the supervisor of the personalized recovery-oriented services at the Resource Center.
Correct.
All right. We got a minute and 19 seconds left thereabouts. So talk about how people can get a hold of you and who should they call, all that stuff. Give them the information here at the
Absolutely.
end.
So again, we have two locations, Jamestown and Dunkirk. At our Jamestown location, please don't hesitate to contact our 716-661-1590 and just talk to our front desk staff, our patient access representatives. Let them know you would like to find out more about our PROS services. And the same in our Dunkirk location, 716-366-7660.
I'm going to guess that there's a bunch of people out there that are underserved right now that are in the wings and they need help.
Absolutely.
Let's
we
see
have
what
no
we can do
waiting
to
list.
get them. No waiting list.
We have no waiting
list.
list.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
And folks, thanks Jeff for popping that up. One thing I want to tell listeners and viewers: this show goes on Facebook and it goes on YouTube forever and ever. Use this show as a reference. 6 months from now, a year from now, look it up. And you'll have this information for you right there like a library.
Yep.
How's that for
That's
help?
wonderful.
Okay, so anything you want to say just to wrap things up?
I think this is a great opportunity to share with the community, as you mentioned, because there is such a need in Chautauqua County and everywhere for support, and our programs give a unique, personalized approach to care that really tries to knock down those stigmas and to help individuals live their best life. And that's all we really want for everybody, is to be able to make those connections.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
enjoyed our talk today, and I think we shared some valuable information for our viewers and listeners. So think about bringing somebody back on,
Absolutely.
and we'll get together again.
Awesome.
Cynthia Neu, thanks for joining us today. I'm Doc Hamels. I'm glad I'm back, and we're going to do this all again next week from 9 to 10 right here on Access Chautauqua, Spectrum 1301, and every other social media platform in the world, okay? Take care, and watch the weather today. Be careful out there.
Absolutely.
Okay.